This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you so much. Fourth speaker from the team affirmatives. Would you answer these questions with a yes or no? Does age limit really reduce creativity?
Pardon?
Does age limit creativity in simple terms?
Yes.
Does age limit advantage include the illiterate?
No.
In the new how old is the new curriculum?
It's 3 years.
Thank you so much. Do you consider elimination of 2 people and introduction of 2 new people in the same job market?
Yes.
My last question. Do you affirm to the fact that the job loss is unemployment?
No.
Okay, you can take your seat, please. So, panel, I'm called Moizi Joe, and I'm a fourth affirmer with today's resolution that states, in a bid to fight unemployment, the retirement age should be reduced. Here we're going to deal with the reality understanding of this problem of unemployment as we're trying to deal with the team affirmatives that are really consistently approving to the age limit, and we as team negatives trying to show you that actually this is not the way to go. There are certain things that have been on ground, there are certain things that are operating and they're carrying out the most effective percentage in dealing with unemployment. We, as I asked the fourth affirmer, I asked him, does age limit creativity? Typically, we are seeing this. If in a job competition, there are 2 people who are in that position, and then you get other 2 people, you replace them into that, sorry about that, in that same position, you are not solving the problem of unemployment. Typically, you're dealing with the 2 people, in a ratio of 2 people to other 1 million that are still out there and they have no jobs. It is just a displacement factor whereby you will not be solving the problem of unemployment. We bring arguments whereby we include inclusivity. This inclusivity, we are here to bind it to both the literate and illiterate. But guess what? This age limit typically is dealing with that person who was educated and has a job and is successful. He's just getting out of that position. And they bring another person who is educated and is going to fill that same position. But we as team negators, we are trying to prove to them that with this issue whereby we have this issue of inclusivity, we are going to deal with an employment whereby both the literate and both the illiterate are going to participate in this whole session of employment. Why do we say this? We are talking about the issue of empowerment. Empowerment in which whereby we are to set microfinance institutions. That's why we talk about group loans. This is whereby people are trained. That's the first thing they should note. People are trained, then they are given some capital to start up small-scale industries. After beginning those small-scale industries, they're able to generate some money. This is under monetary because typically they're going to be paying some taxes, and we are removing and erasing that issue concerning unemployment on 2 groups, both the employed and the unemployed. We're talking about the issue of job creation. This comes with a question we asked them. In the new curriculum, how old is the new curriculum? Typically, they are trying to judge us in a false way, showing us that the government has done everything that is not effective. 3 years. We expect these students who are in this new curriculum, at least after 6 years, to do something. These are 3 years. This is still under checkup. This is still under monetary fact, whereby we cannot take a judgment on something that is 3 years old and we expect its positive results after 6 years, and we take on ahead and just judge these people. Saying there is no issue. Yes, it's true. There is this new curriculum that is really developing, and this is exactly what we need these people to know. And guess what? It is teaching these people creative skills of creating their own jobs, because we as team negators, we're here to show the team affirmatives that age is not the reduction age limit is not the actual problem. But here we are to deal with other factors clearly monitored, as they are effective apparently to be checked on, rather than just getting a person displaced and 2 people get jobs and the million are kept behind. But with these skills imparted onto them, then we do believe people will have employment. Thank you so much for your time. I remain Moizi Joel.
I expect a yes or a no from you, from these questions.
Yes, please.
Do we have an employment rate in Uganda as 87%?
I beg your pardon?
Do we have the unemployment rate in Uganda as 87%?
No.
Have the citizens of Uganda been empowered through the government programs? Yes or a no?
Yes, they are being empowered.
Thank you. You can rest it there. Do you believe that microfinance institutions have provided loans to Yes or no?
Yes, they have.
Thank you. Do you believe that PDM is in form of a loan?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Do you believe that the rate of graduates is increasing as the rate of people not having jobs is also increasing?
The government is solving it.
Thank you. Did your first speaker state that the average age of education is 25 to 30 years?
Yes.
Thank you. And do you believe that at the age of 60, someone can be being educated in something or somewhere?
Beg your pardon?
Do you believe that at the age of 60, someone can be being educated in something or anything, any other thing?
Please make your statement clear.
I've said. Okay, I will take that as it. You can take your seat. These are enough for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, Pano, what do I want to first bring onto your table? This new curriculum, as they have been claiming through the whole resolution, has been in place, yes, for 3 years. But we are seeing people not retiring. We have recorded cases of people even trying to extend their years, to reduce their years in order for them to keep having their jobs. Secondly, these people who are in office, they don't want to retire. So where are these people who are in the new curriculum? Where are they going to go? Secondly, they are talking about illiteracy. Illiteracy, Pano. These people that we are going to retire at the age of 45, it's not that they are going to be unemployed, no. They are going to be having money. They are going to receive pensions. As my first speaker stated, yes, they are going to be receiving pensions. And where are they going to spend these pensions? We have these people, illiterate people, are carrying out agriculture in the villages, and in carrying out agriculture, these people are using pensions in order to pay the loans. I asked him, do you believe that the unemployment rate in Uganda is 87%? He said no. If he disagrees with our statistics, why didn't they bring on table what they think or what is exactly the unemployment rate in Uganda? That's the first question, and we'll them on that. Secondly, have the citizens of Uganda been empowered through the government programs? What does he say? He said no. But Pano, I would like you to look into this matter. The PDM, these people are being given money to carry out different activities, and in doing so, this is empowering people. You're giving them startup capital, and in doing the due course, you're empowering them to leave unemployment, to be employed. Secondly, I asked him, do you believe that the rate of graduates increases, and as also the rate of people not having jobs increases? He's saying that the government is trying to solve that. But Pano, what can you say about something that the government is trying to solve that? But in trying to solve that, that's what we are doing. We are bringing in our work plan in order to solve the unemployment rate that is in Uganda. As the people who are graduating increases, we also get people as these ones leave the office, the other ones also get the office. Dear Pano, I think we take this resolution in a bid to fight unemployment. The retirement age should be reduced. I rest my case.
I will commend you upon a very argumentative debate. I also commend you for in-depth research, and I commend you for appreciating the roles that you're supposed to do as individual speakers. I will delve into the substantive points and the clash points of this debate. Number one, Team Affirmative, you came here with a resolution that seeks to make sure that you create a new retirement age that is reduced to fight unemployment. Team Negative tells you that in any case, when you remove 2 people from one position and you make them be inherited by 2 more people, it is essentially the same old thing. It is just a replacement game. You try to counter that when you say that at the end of the day, there will be persons receiving pension. These persons will not be unemployed per se and can involve themselves in other avenues as citizenry. I credit you for that. However, you still leave the burden of how effective is a retirement-based unemployment addressing system. Meaning, if your system is retirement based at just in and out, even the government positions are limited. Besides, they tell you that how, in a manner, your system does not canvas the entire populace. In other words, we all know that when we are dealing with retirement age, it's mostly public servants. People in the private sector do not have a retirement age. Now, if it's public servants, which particular persons are in ministries? Which particular public servant positions are there? How many people are employed in this avenue? In other words, even if the whole public service were to retire today, how many new Ugandans would get jobs? Now, they trump you on that when they say that a microfinance strategy aimed at benefiting not the poor, not the rich, but everyone else, regardless of whether they are 67 or 45, would ideally benefit everyone in the audience. So on those grounds, I gave it to them.
Thank you so much. It is straight land, it is prudent practice that the burden and the opportunity of setting parameters always relies on team affirmative. We have parameters to do with geographical setting. We have parameters to do with time setting. We have parameters to do with ideological setting. What do I mean? Personally, I cannot penalize or I cannot punish team negative for coming and talking about illiterates, even when we were talking about the retirement age that only supersedes for civil servants. Why? When they talked about the issue of illiteracy, now the burden was shifted back to team affirmative to come and clarify or to restrict this resolution on the argument that it is meant to be that when we talk about the retirement age structure, we are talking about civil servants. We are talking about the literates. Now, I cannot punish team negative on grounds that you failed out on your own role. You have a role of establishing parameters. Meaning, even if team negative had faulted out on the same, on grounds that you failed to come back and reimburse on what it is meant to be, a credit goes to them, a punishment comes back to you. Secondly, I appreciate the fact that both teams or both sides had good arguments. First and foremost, personally I also based this debate on the clash points that we had. First and foremost, team affirmative had an alternative of reduction in the age of retirement to create space for the literates to be employed. Then team negative came up with an alternative of inclusiveness and empowerment. I like the fact that one, team affirmative was able to come and make a refutal on the fact that yes, you have talked about PDMs. Yes, you have talked about the new curriculum of hands-on. But these are things that we have already had in place. However, even if we have had them in place, we still have unemployment. But team negative came and told you, actually, you considered in your own cross-examination. They asked you for how long have we had the hands-on new curriculum? 2 years. You yourself stipulated that the average stay or the average age with stay in school, it was 25, 28, 30. Now, if this curriculum and this development by the PDM, by the government, both are just 3 years old, and you yourselves, we are talking about 25 to 30, then do you have a reason to blame them for their inefficiency?
I loved the arguments, I loved the submissions, I loved the points, and the strategies you people employed. Now, personally, I felt this is one of those debates where what one team built, the other team came and crippled and built, and the other team came and did the same altogether. You people actually understood what it means to rebut. Now, at the end of the day, there's a problem of unemployment that we're trying to solve. Are we together? So, when I looked at both of the strategies you people presented, I'm going to entirely judge them on the merit of, one, how practical they are and how efficient they are as per what you presented in solving the problem of unemployment. Are we together? So now, I would want us to note that if we are speaking of Uganda, which is our parameter today, majority of the unemployed are actually the unlearned and non-graduates. You get my point? And the inability of team affirmative to at least cut out that section of the argument meant they had to somehow account for those people that are unemployed, much as they are non-graduates. Are we together? Are we together? Now, to the spines of your arguments, Team Affirmative, you made a very strong submission about the government doing everything within its means to actually empower the youth. And I felt, as per the reasons you gave, you actually tried to justify that, except for the part where you dwelt so much on the new curriculum. Now, my question comes back to you, Team Affirmative. If you are presenting the new curriculum as one of your main arguments in saying that these people are already empowered, how many people do you really think have actually graduated out of the new curriculum? Because we are talking about 3 years. Are we together? These people are even still in school, most of them. Are we together? So now when we come back and look at what you presented as the spine in that point, it is actually something that is not practical enough. Are we together? Because you kept emphasizing the new curriculum, but then if we are talking about unemployment, and this curriculum has existed for 3 years, these people have not yet even graduated, but you're saying that is the empowerment, or that is all the empowerment that the government was supposed to do. I was not convinced on that particular point.
This was a very good debate. Now, Team Affirmative and Team Negative. Personally, looking at the resolution, the problem is unemployment. That was the biggest problem. Both of you had a task of giving the best way of solving unemployment. So, Team Negative actually coming up to talk about illiterate and non-illiterate people is okay. Because at the end of the day, that is in my opinion, because at the end of the day, you let them do that. So I cannot do what? I cannot penalize them for talking about literate and non-illiterate people, because unemployment is faced by both the literate and illiterate people. Now moving on, the best case that you had was pensions, which Team Negative failed to rebut completely. We are looking at a country whereby it is governing on a deficit budget. That is first of all. Second of all, we are looking at a country that even the people that have retired are still demanding for their money from NSSF. So how do you guarantee that these people that you're retiring, when they're already retired people, cannot receive their pensions? Which money are you going to use to give them pensions? There are already people that are demanding pensions. However, Team Negative tried to rebut it by their third speaker, who said that how are you going to give someone pensions after they have only worked for 15 years and studied for 20 years, more than 20 years. So I faulted them at that. Now, another deciding factor. I cannot compare microfinancing and the reduction of a retirement age to 45 years. I'm looking at what you offered us, which is 45 years. Microfinancing, if people are being given loans and you're questioning for them of where is the productivity of the new curriculum and microfinancing, and they gave you other things of how they are going to be able to promote employment of the people, which you did not rebut. You only focused on microfinancing and empowerment. So at the end of the day, Team Negative had a better strategy for you, because Team Affirmative, you have the burden of proof beyond reasonable doubt. And you failed to do that. At the end of the day, there were glaring loopholes in your argument. At the end of the day, there were a lot of people that were unemployed, and you did not give a best case of how to combat unemployment. As much as Team Negative also had those faults, you were not able to combat or rebut them.
Where I fault the negators also. You know, negators, once you come with a structure, you have to pinpoint the different issues towards it. If you people could come and say, you know what, from your first speak, I just heard it from your fourth speaker, where now you brought the CBC issue, that you know what, how effective is it that it's just 3 years down the line? You need to give us some good time, because I'm questioning here about the effectiveness of your time frame. For somebody to do CBC and finish, and really start depending on himself or herself, I think it will take more than 8 years if I'm not wrong. So the 3 years is in question. I beg to be corrected. Affirmative. So personally, I was persuaded by their plan. And I made it a fallacy. I even started asking myself, having 45 as a retirement age, I looked at myself, by the time I'm in 45, I'm still hustling around the streets of Kampala without a job. And I said, this affirmative, they don't have a good for my sake. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot logically, I'm just using logic here. Imagine I've turned 50s when I'm celebrating my first salary. Then you X me out, give a young man a job. A young man also who is also close to 45, 3 years down the line, you give him out, you give another person a job. Are we solving the issue? No. Let me ask the affirmative. Are we solving the issue? Experience is what? The best teacher. The people who are in this parastatals and government organization are people who are mature and they can tackle issues as they come. Next time, if you make a time frame, try to consider such issues. I know most of you are in your 20s and 25. By the time you're done with school, you'll be in Ntare. You have 20 years of experience. That means affirmative. I'm seeing you not having jobs with your plan. I beg to submit. Thank you so much. Now, marks. I gave affirmative a 60%. I never had issues with your content, with your style. The issue I had is in your strategy. I'm seeing an improvement when it comes to style. You people are understanding the assignment very well. I gave Team Negatus a 63%, totaling up to a 61.8%, which is a 62% roughly. If I round off, I hate mathematics, but forgive me. To Team Affirmative, and a 64.8%, if I rough it up, is a 65% for Team Negatus. And as of this, the Team Negatus have the day, a unanimous judgment of 5 judges. God bless you.